Hello, hello! How are you all? How are you all? Unfortunately, it looks like the Stream Elements bot isn't working on YouTube, so no possum percentages there. That's a bummer. But yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Got the YouTube chat. Where'd it go? There it is. There it is. Here to boop, but I'm out of snoot. Hey, Bandito. Alright, so I'm right on time, I think. 1 p.m. And this is my first just chatting stream in a while, so at least like, because last time I did my birthday stream, but that was it. Also there's a lot of interruptions with the network just failing, but hopefully today was gonna be better. Yeah. Alright, I also did like almost a year ago I did a stream with talking about conventions, but I meant to turn it into a video, but then I didn't because I was actually not as organized on my part, so it was gonna be a pain to edit, so I was like, I should just like re-record this from scratch. But hopefully this one. So if anybody by chance is watching this not live, I am planning to turn this into a video probably in a couple of days, and then it will be shorter, it won't be as long, you don't have to go through my lulls of talking. But yeah, so let me see. Oh yeah. I was gonna do a pinned question. Beast. Message. And then over on Twitch as well. Yes, do you have a favorite site to post art on? I was just curious what other folks had to say about that. And oh yeah, new background, kind of. I finally got the daytime one. So yeah, I think it looks nice. We got a lot of yellow here. I usually don't color with yellow, so this was fun. Instagram for me, probably also. Hi. Hello, welcome. Commit Sudoku. Instagram, interesting. Yeah, I recently removed my Instagram, but I'll talk about that later. So, and then, yeah, so we got the background. There's no animation to it, but I was like, I don't know, it looks fine for now. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And, like, I'm not an expert on social media. This is just gonna be my personal experience with it. So if anybody has anything they want to add, like anything like their personal experience, that would be really helpful, because yeah, definitely my one experience does not mean that's everybody else's. And yeah, so definitely open for comments. All right, so might as well get started, I guess. What time is it? 1:03. Maybe I'll vibe for a little bit. Sip some water. How are y'all doing? I hope it's going well. It's a little bit windy here, so hopefully that doesn't interrupt much. Right, I was supposed to do... For folks who watched me do a game stream earlier this week on Twitch, I said I was going to do an art stream. I completely forgot I had this social media stream planned, so apologies. Maybe no art stream until next week. We'll see. If I have the energy, I'll do one midweek. But yeah. And I've also wondered, like, do people prefer weekend streams or weekday streams? Because I have had a hard time gauging what is a good time to stream. Hello, Pico the Fox. Welcome. Yeah, so unfortunately Stream Elements is not working on the YouTube side, so sadly, yes, no possum checking. Weekend? Okay, good to know. Thank you for the feedback. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna shift over to my PowerPoint. This is the first time I'm doing a PowerPoint on stream, so I'm like, I hope everything runs smoothly. Pardon the scuff otherwise. Alright, so let me I'm gonna shrink down here. Voila. PowerPoint. Social media for artists. Specifically furry. Because, yeah, I feel like people who do different art are probably going to have an even more different experience. Because when I shifted to furry art, I noticed I couldn't just, like, do exactly what I was already doing. I had to make a couple of changes. So, but, I don't know. If people who don't do furry art watch this, I mean, maybe that'll be helpful. I don't know. Alright. Do you need social media? Oh, my face is kind of like all up in the way. Let me scooch over a bit. Don't have to be this big. There we go. Alright, yeah, do you even need social media? Because some people are like, I hate social media. I don't want to do it. And yeah, technically, if you want to be an artist, you don't need it. It's just, you have to have a very... I don't just want to say an outgoing personality. You have to be just very active in local communities, or, I mean, even like, not necessarily just local, just be in a community that you see people regularly, whether you have to travel or not. That's what's, yeah, so that's what I put. Local art community, conventions, art fairs. So not just like furry cons, like if your art is more, like, can be appealing to like the crafty crowd, you could probably do that as well. Like, I know there's like a lot of holiday bazaars, also things like, I guess like when October comes around, there's like a bunch of like Halloween and harvest-ish fests. And then we also have galleries. If you have a local art gallery that caters to like the kind of art that you like to do, or like, I don't know, maybe they're open to trying new things, open to showcasing new things, and so you could apply there. So yeah, a lot of this is like talking to people and having people be able to like recommend you or have recommendations for you. And then publication art. So I have not looked into publication art in a long time. It has been a couple of years. I remember I talked to someone at a convention quite a few years ago, and I was like, oh, how do you get your stuff published, like as an illustrator for like book covers and stuff? And they were like, oh, I go onto Upwork, which is a website. Like, I know a lot of people know of Fiverr, which is I would say Fiverr is like the cheaper version of Upwork. Upwork is quote unquote more professional, so that's what you can do. But because that is kind of old information, I don't know how reliable that is now. So that's why I'm just like, all right, take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, that's how you can try to see how to get like illustration gigs that aren't necessarily just like private commissions. So you'd be, in theory, getting paid more because it would be commercial art. And lastly, graphic design. And these were the only things I could think off the top of my head. So there's definitely more. And yeah, graphic design, like people are always looking for a good graphic designer. The amount of people who have approached me and been like, can you do this graphic design thing for me? And I'm like, I am not a graphic designer. So there's definitely a, how do you say it for marketing? Like a demand. There is a demand for graphic designers. So if you're good at graphic design, that's great. Also, I'm just like thinking like 3D work, possibly, motion graphics. Yeah, there's a lot of demand for that. I know a lot of people have been worried about like, oh no, the AI art is gonna take your jobs, but I feel like there's still people who also don't want to get sued. So yeah, definitely not just for folks who, I mean, where was I going with that? I mean, yeah, don't worry too much about the AI art, because I feel like there's still a market for people hiring y'all. So yeah, this is what I could come up with for alternative to social media. I'm gonna switch over, and this is why I use social media. Like, I am not a social person. I know, social media, but I'm not a social person as far as like reaching out to people, doing phone calls, like showing up in person and being like, trying to like pitch myself and be like, hey, look, I'm an artist, check my stuff out, maybe show my stuff in your, I don't know, gallery, cafe, or whatever. That was another thing I forgot. Cafes and bars, sometimes you can have your art be like hung there as well. And then that's a way you can make a little bit of a profit. I don't know, I don't think you can make it full-time, but that is a good way to get your name out there. But what I was saying was that, like, yeah, I use social media for community because, well, number one, I don't live in a city, so there are less opportunities for me, and then the opportunities I have is just, yeah, we don't really have like a furry community locally, so I don't think people want my art that much. So I'm like, all right, I go to the internet, see if anybody wants it there. So, and then I use it for advertising. So for example, commissions, letting people know I have like shop sales, as well as inspiration, a good way to connect with other artists, see what people are doing, see like what's in right now. I feel like that also helps if you know, like, you know, what certain trends are. You don't necessarily have to follow them, but I feel like it's helpful to know what is trending and stuff like that. And I'm not talking about like trending, like what's trending on the side of like the Twitter bar or anything. I'm just talking about like in the art scene. And then, oh yeah, it's not location based. So theoretically, as long as I have a decent a decent internet connection, I could work with social media. So yeah. Yeah, and also, like I said, if anybody wants to put any more input, let me know. This is just, yeah, my personal experience. Don't feel like you're interrupting the presentation or anything. I'm just going through it. I do have a bad habit of going through presentations a little bit too quickly, so yeah, if anybody wants to chat in the middle, let me know. Alright, so that's why I use social media. And then I was going to talk about the different types of social media. Now, this is not everything. And I haven't tried all the social media, not all the social media. I haven't tried all the social media on this list either. So yeah, if there's one that you see that you're like, oh, I really like this one, I really like using it, let me know. So what I would consider more mainstream would be like Instagram, Twitter /X, Facebook, and TikTok. I feel like that's mainstream. And when I say mainstream, I mean, I think it's not furry exclusive. Like, so many people go on this social media, and you're not just like specifically targeting one type of audience. So that's what I mean by mainstream. Also, it's like, I think one of the top used social media. And yeah, and I did do a video about a year ago where I did talk about Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I didn't really talk about Facebook. I briefly mentioned it. I don't think I talked about TikTok either on that video, but I have tried Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. In order of success, I would say that Twitter was number 1, Instagram number 2. It worked really well for me way back in, like, I want to say 2017, but the times have changed, and it stopped working for me after they implemented Reels, so yeah, that one got ranked down, and then Twitter became my main one. And then TikTok, I never got very far on TikTok. I really struggle with making short-form content. The fact that, like, it's encouraged to do it fairly regularly, and I could only do, like, a video a month, maybe. I was like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this isn't my target audience. And I also didn't see a lot of people, like, finding out about my art on TikTok and then, like, checking other sites out. So I was just like, I feel like the people who are on TikTok, for the most part, stay on TikTok and don't, like, I'm sure they use other social media, but they don't, like, look at whoever they're following and they're like, hey, alright, I'm gonna go see what their other links are. And then on top of that, I don't think they let you post your own links unless you have a certain amount of followers, and so it took me a while to even get to that amount of followers, so that was kind of annoying. But some people, they just thrive on TikTok. If you like short form videos, like, I have heard that it has helped so many folks, especially people like showcasing their shop listings, so showing like, oh, these are like the stickers I made, or these keychains or whatever. I did hear that it has a really good conversion rate for shopping. So just because my experience wasn't great doesn't mean that if you try TikTok, you will fail as well. It was just for me. I just don't like making short videos that much. I also really suck at promoting my shop, so that was already kind of hard. So, but I recommend it. I recommend trying some things out if you hear good things about them. And if they don't work for you, that's fine. Just provided like you have the time. Like also, if you don't have the time, maybe try to what is the word? Just like take advantage of like what time you have and then see what works and what doesn't. Because like I have definitely lost a lot of time experimenting with social media, and like sometimes I don't regret it because I'm like, okay, at least I learned this thing. But sometimes I'm like, I could have called it quits way earlier and could have focused on other work, and it would have been a better use of my time. So yeah, so that's the mainstream. Oh, also, like, I did mention this in my other video, because Instagram and Facebook are owned by Meta, their algorithm is like really funky, so it's really hard. Sometimes your stuff just gets hidden. But if you're doing well on there, then yeah, definitely keep going. But it stopped working for me, so that's when I was like, alright, I have to call quits. Because I actually really liked Instagram. I liked that it had like a kind of portfolio page, and I liked that I could follow artists that weren't necessarily just part of the furry community. But yeah, things had to change, so I'm not on there anymore. Alright, gotta take a breather. I feel like I've been like talking kind of fast. Sip some water. Alright, so for alternatives, it's so funny. Like, I would kind of consider Tumblr to be mainstream, but like at the same time, it's just been through so many different owners and stuff like that I feel like, I don't know, just kind of its own thing. Like, because a lot of people abandoned it once they made it so you can't post NSFW art, and like that, I agree, that really sucks for folks who were doing well with NSFW art. I didn't really partake in NSFW art, so I just, I never did leave the site when everyone left. I forget what year that was. A lot of people, I think, moved from Tumblr to Twitter, but I stayed on Tumblr, and eventually it worked out for me. For a while, I was just kind of posting to nobody. I think, like, on average, I would make, like, 1 or 2 notes. That's, like, includes likes and reblogs. But eventually, it started to pick up. I think it helps to post in groups. I feel like there are some blogs where you could submit art, and if that blog is followed by quite a few people, that's a good way to get your art noticed. Hashtags also work. Oh, and also, I guess I realized I'm gonna get more into depth with the alternatives, at least with the websites I use, so I guess I'll save the Tumblr info for later, now that I think about it. Blue Sky, I guess, came out of beta last year? Was it just a couple months ago? Maybe it was just the spring. Yeah, it's a pretty new website as far as it not being in beta mode. So that's an alternative. I mean, it's technically also made by the person who made Twitter. So it's very similar. I found it to be a little bit more chill. And then there's Kara, or Kara. I actually don't know what the right pronunciation is. That one is also new as of like a couple months, I want to say. I think that one's still in beta mode, but it's not invite only. You can just make your own website. That's the thing that was tricky with Blue Sky, is that it was invite only, so it was very closed. So it was kind of hard to find an invite to get started, or you just had to wait because you never knew when the release date was. And then lastly, a lot of people mentioned Discord on my video. I don't really use Discord to promote my art. I just like use it to just like try to foster the community I already have. But I know a lot of people have had success with Discord as well, so I didn't want to leave that one out. And then even more niche, we have Mastodon, which is decentralized. I guess other of these sites are decentralized as well, but that one's like known for being decentralized. And then co-host, I made an account and then I never posted, but I've heard that some people had success on it. I put it in more niche because like I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. And then Toy House, and that one is in beta mode as well, and it's been in beta mode for years, and that's technically like not really like your standard social media website, but I've heard that people have kind of like gotten success with it, which is very interesting because the website itself is just for posting your characters and like your character art and stuff like that, but some people have made it work for themselves so they can like sell adopts or commissions on there, which is pretty cool. I never got it to work that way for me. I just use it for what its intended use is and just post my characters on there. But yeah, if you're able to make it work, I mean, good for you. Alright, oh yeah. Okay, so I was gonna get into slightly more depth about the social media that I'm currently using. So currently I'm not... The only mainstream social media that I'm using is Twitter, but I'll briefly talk about that later. So I'm gonna start with Blue Sky. Currently there is no algorithm that I know of. I'm pretty sure that will change. Currently there are no ads as well. I think that will change as well. Because actually I don't know. They say that Blue Sky is decentralized, so who knows if they're gonna try to make a profit with it. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't try to make a profit with it. I'm sure paying for the servers is not cheap. But yes, for now, no algorithm. You share with reposts. That's what they just call them. I did mention it's decentralized. I don't really know how that works with things like Blue Skies. I know Threads is also technically decentralized. But if you know what it is, you know what it is. I don't know how to explain it because I honestly don't really understand how that works. I only know how it works on Mastodon. I don't really know how it works with Blue Sky, other than the fact that I could add my website to my handle instead of it being like .bsky.com or whatever it was. I could do SpycyShark at SpycyShark.com. Hashtags do work. I don't know how many people search things through hashtags. I think right now maybe a fair amount of people still use hashtags to try to find out, to try to discover new art, because it's not a super popular site, and because there's no algorithm, I feel like more people use the hashtags. So, but that's just a theory. I don't actually know what the like how this actually all works. This is just all theories. Also, I'm not a programmer or a coder at all. Or so... Wait, did I just say the same thing? I think that's the same thing. I'm not in IT, and I don't do programming, so a lot of this is theories. Hey, Shy Hermit Crab, welcome, welcome. Just going through talking about social media. Oh yeah, and then as far as for Blue Sky, I was able to get in thanks to a kind person giving me a... what was it? It was an invite code to Blue Sky before it was open to the public. So I was able to get in, and a lot of people, I feel like at that time, were following a lot of other people, so that always helps sometimes to get into a new website, a new social media at the beginning, because then you probably have a bigger chance of having people like try to find you, because everyone's just, I don't know, scrambling and getting situated in this new place. And sometimes the hype stays, and sometimes a couple weeks pass and then people don't sign into that website ever again. I feel like I saw that happen with Threads. Does anybody here still use Threads? Like, no shame, but yeah, it didn't work for me. I felt like it just kind of died after a while. And plus it was made with Meta, so I was like, I wasn't super jazzed about keeping it around. But yes, the way I tried to get some of my art discovered on Blue Sky is that I requested to be added to a feed, and I specifically used the feed called Furry List, or I guess furryli.st. And they're pretty cool because I think they're able to automatically share anything that you post with the hashtag furry or furry art. I think they have even more hashtags, like for streamers, like hashtag furry live. So I think that's really cool. It helps with discoverability, helps find other people. So yeah, that was pretty handy as far as growing on Blue Sky. And I feel like it's still a pretty active community. I feel like a lot of artists still use Twitter/X as their main one, and then maybe Blue Sky as a secondary. But I feel like some people who were just tired with Twitter's stuff, they just moved to Blue Sky for the most part. All right, and then let me take another breather. just zipping on through here. I feel like I'm gonna lose my voice if I keep this up. But yeah, how is y'all's weekend going? I hope it's going well. It's Sunday here today. I was kind of bummed. There was an event that I wanted to go to yesterday, but it got canceled, so I stayed home instead. You're doing great? Ah, thank you. I should hydrate. It definitely helps to have the slides in the background because it helps me stay on track. Whereas when I did it for talking about Artist Alley, I did have like a page of notes, but then I was like, it's kind of hard to like let anybody know who's like popping in what we're talking about straight away. So I feel like, yeah, just having a big old thing of text in the background might help. All right, Tumblr. So I feel like with Tumblr, the algorithm is optional. I think there's like what do you call? There's a feed called For You. Y'all know the For You page. But I just do like whoever I'm following. So then I just can see the stuff of people I follow. What a concept. Weekend, weekday, all the same for me. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, because I also know that some folks work on weekends, so it's like, oh yeah, the weekend. It's like, I gotta work tomorrow. But yeah, my schedule is like, there's not a lot of rhyme or reason for it. Like, it's like, technically I'm working right now. But I'm like, I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to talk to y'all. Was like, oh, I said algorithm is optional, right? Okay. Oh, and then the sharing thing is with reblogs. And I feel like if you don't really have a sharing thing like that, it's harder to like share your art. I get to see the hand dog tomorrow for my carpal tunnel. That sucks that you have carpal tunnel, but I'm glad that you're gonna see a doctor for it. Jeez. I'm sorry to hear that. Gosh, the artist life. Artist and like musician life. I mean, technically musicians are artists as well. Who else struggles with carpal tunnel? Maybe some sport people? Yeah, it sucks. Oh, the other thing that I really like about Tumblr is that you can schedule reblogs. Wait, did I say schedule reblogs? You can schedule posts. That's a thing I don't see with a lot of social media now that I think about it. They used to have it for Instagram and then it just randomly disappeared, and I was like, okay, you just made my life a little bit harder, but okay. You can schedule posts with Twitter. That's one of the main reasons why I still use Twitter. Otherwise, I'd feel like I'd just be gone. You can kind of schedule things on Mastodon, but as far as I can tell, it's mostly just text posts. You can't schedule posts that have images in it. I also make music. No, the double whammy. But yeah, so scheduling posts, I really like that. For example, I actually do that a lot for streaming. So if I'm like, okay, I know I'm gonna start streaming at like this time, so I can post that right then and there, so I don't have to be like scrambling to post things like during the starting soon screen or anything. So that is one thing that for me I really like about certain social media, is having the ability to schedule posts. And I know that you can use a third party to do it. Hootsuite used to let you do that for free, and then they were like, you gotta pay up, subscription only. And I'm like, what? That sucks. Hello, welcome, Rainbow Chromatic. Sometimes I schedule posts on Twitter. Yeah, it's super handy. I really hope they don't remove that. ability, or make it like paid only. I shouldn't speak too loud. Maybe Elon will hear me. Just kidding. But yeah, no, scheduling posts, really nice. Hashtags work. I feel like that is a good way that people can like discover stuff. It also can end up on like trending stuff. I don't know. I've never been picked for the Tumblr radar, but on the right there's always like a little like, oh, this is a featured post, and it's usually art, so that's really cool. Release radar, I think it's called. No, that's Spotify. I don't know. I forget. But yeah, no, discoverability is not impossible on Tumblr, which is what I like about it. 22% opossum. Sad day. I think I got 80 something today. Also, welcome for pigeons. They probably will. Yeah, I know. Ugh. I really hope not. But yeah, I feel like as soon as Twitter gets rid of the scheduled post thing, I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna be honest. What's the difference between a normal post and a blog post? Wait, hold on a second. Let me think. Do you mean like wait. I think they're all the same. Yeah. Did I say something that differentiated them? I can't remember. But yeah, no, for the most part, yeah, on Tumblr, they're the same. Like, you can write stuff, you can post video links, you can post stream links, you can post, like, pretty much anything, so that's really nice. And, right, you could submit art to blogs. I briefly talked about that earlier, and so, yeah, if you find I used to use the blog called Weird Fur? I think it was called Weird Fur. And that really helped grow my Tumblr account back in the day. However, there was a moment when I sent them some stuff and then it stopped being posted, so I don't know if the person who was going through the posts is either not going through them anymore, or I don't know, just my stuff is getting rejected more often. So I just, luckily at this point, I've developed enough of an audience that I don't need a post to there, but it was really helpful, and I think it's worth a shot if you are on Tumblr. Yeah, just look them up. They're called Weird Fur, and I'm sure there are other groups as well. And oh, I also really like the archive feature. I mentioned this in the other video as well, but the fact that you can hit like your post and then write /archive, and then you can like look at your posts by year, month, I think that's super handy. So I don't think any other social media that I've run across has something like that. So I really like using it because then I can see, I don't know, it's easy for, yeah, just personal archiving purposes. So I can be like, what was I doing, I don't know, in the year 2019 in August? Maybe I should reblog some of my old art from there. That's really easy to find. I think for Affinity, unofficially has an auto-uploading thing for art dumps. Forgot what it was called. Oh, interesting. That does remind me of Postyburb. That was another thing. Like, I think it's like is it technically a software? You download it and you can log into multiple social media and post from there, but because every social media has like different ways they handle posts, like some accept HTML, some don't, some accept tags, some don't, so you like kind of still have to make an individual post for everything. Some people say it's really handy. I personally tried it and I was like, it's just easier for me to, well, especially when I got my Stream Deck, it was easier for me to just put an action into my Stream Deck where I push the button and all my social media at once opens, and then I could just be like, post, copy text, copy hashtags, there we go. So that made it easier, and I think you are able, there is a way, I don't know how to do it, but I'm sure the internet can explain on how to create a hotkey to open multiple websites at the same time. But yeah, for Affinity, yeah, I didn't include for Affinity on here because I personally haven't used it in a while. I really struggled with discoverability on there, and I also mentioned it in my old video. And then with like the recent hacking and everything, I was like, I I don't know, it's too messy. Especially, I didn't really want to recommend it to new users, so I was like, if you already have a fur affinity and it works for you, yeah. But as far as like people trying to step into the furry community, I wouldn't recommend it. It's really hard to get discovered, but I don't know. Maybe some folks have better luck than me. I think it's called post-burp. Okay, yeah, because I think furries programmed it, which is really cool. But yeah, I know quite a few accounts. Like sometimes I'm on Mastodon, it says like on the bottom it says like posted through post-burp, and I'm like, okay, folks are using it. But yeah, it was just easier for me because currently I just post art on 4 websites, so it's not too complicated for me to just go in there manually. So yeah, that's it for Tumblr. I forgot I put this in here. So there is the meme that it was like saying that most furries are in IT. And I think there is truth to that. So as a result, that's why I think you can find a lot of furries on Mastodon, because I'll flip over to there in a bit. But yeah, no, this freaking meme being like it'll ruin the American IT industry if the plane crashes with all these furries. I thought that was hilarious. When was this posted? 2021? It took me a while to find the original one. It was like on a news, not a news, I guess just I guess it was a news website. But yeah, the furries. Yeah, I feel like there's different categories of furries. There's like artist furry, and that includes musicians as well, and as well as fursuit makers. So yeah, we got the arts and crafts furries, we got the IT furries, and we got the army furries. Sometimes there's overlap, but yeah, I feel like that's for the most part what makes up. Oh, the queer furries, of course. But yeah, so there's plenty of overlap with those. The IT industry stands on the backs of load-bearing fursuits. Exactly. Welcome, Caitlin. Yeah. Artist furries are chaotic neutral. I never considered myself as chaotic neutral, but yeah, I guess so. So yeah, so here we are. This is actually my favorite website, Mastodon. Well, it's not really a website. Favorite social media. Algorithm is optional. The shares, instead of like either called reblogs, retweets, they're called boosts. And in some cases, they're called retoots, because like a Mastodon is like kind of like elephant-like creatures, so it's like toot, like the sound of an elephant. Very silly. But yeah, that's how you share your stuff. Decentralized. So one way I heard somebody describe decentralized social media is like, it's like email. So like when you, like, let's say somebody has, I don't know, at outlook.com, like for their email, and someone has a Gmail, they can still communicate with each other despite having being hosted on 2 different sites. So I think that's how they explain that Mastodon works, that you can join different servers and you can still talk to other people on different servers, even though you're not all on the same one. Betty is so good. Yes, exactly. I tooted out on Mastodon. I do be tootin'. Oh, welcome, Asher. So yeah, no, I love Mastodon. I just joined it. It's been like a little bit over a year since I joined Mastodon. I think it was in July, because that was one of the other times. I feel like the last couple of years, just every time there was like, oh, Elon did this to Twitter. Oh, Elon did that to Twitter. And there would always be mass migration. Like, I got a huge influx of followers on Tumblr when there was another mishap on Twitter. So it's always, there was constant migrations in 2023. And yeah, for me, I was like, all right, I'm gonna see what Mastodon is all about. Because there was a lot of people being like, I'm not gonna go to Mastodon. It's bad. It's confusing. And so that kept me away from it for a while. But then when I finally moved, I was like, Okay, yes, this is awesome. I don't know what y'all were talking about, but this is where the furries are at, okay? This is not just, like, I think there's more furries on here than, like, on most furry-only sites. I don't know. But it's nice because it's also, like, not only is it just a high concentration of furries on this website, but you could still reach non-furries as well. There's stats graphs of the number of Fetty users, and there's a spike every time Elon says something not smart. Oh god. I totally believe it. Makes sense, yeah. I remember when Twitter was banned in Brazil and Blue Sky had a mass migration. Oh, right! Oh my goodness. Gosh. Oh no. Yeah, I'm not even like... I feel like most people could do better CEO decision-making than Elon. And who are, like, young. He makes such awful business decisions. Anyway. I got so many Brazilian followers on Blue Sky. Really? That's cool. I haven't really looked at my stats or anything. That's so funny. When did that happen? That was like in August, I think. Yeah. It was always a mass migration every couple of months. For a while it felt like it was every month there was a mass migration. You could replace Elon with AI and it would be better. For real, for real. Oh my goodness. Brazilian artists are on another level. Oh yeah, I should check it out because I remember this was around the time that like Brazilian Miku was making like the rounds, and they're like, they banned Brazilian Miku. Good times, good times. But yeah, right. So yeah, where I left off was the hashtags. So yeah, hashtags do work on Mastodon. I actually found that it was a good way to discover more artists and stuff like that. However, I would recommend maybe if you are under 18, maybe hold off on making a Mastodon account, because I feel like it is very adult oriented. Because when I was like, all right, I'm gonna go through the furry hashtags, I was like, oh, I need to add a lot of like NSFW filters and word filters, because sometimes people don't like to use their filters, but they use tag words that I could filter out, so I had to do that. But yeah, but once you get it going, it works. And then as far as the server that I joined, they already automatically banned a lot of servers that were a little dodgy, so so that helped. I didn't have to do that manually. And then as far as picking your own server, there are several websites that have like a list of them. Off the top of my head, I think there's like mastodonservers.net, and then I think you could just go to like servers and then furry, and you can find a bunch of furry servers. People really suck at content warning things sometimes. Yeah, I agree. I mentioned this before, and that was one of the things that kept me away from the furry community for a good while when I was a minor. So yeah, I wish people were a little bit better at that, but yeah. That's why I'm like, yeah, if you're gonna be on Mastodon, maybe be over 18. I recommend that. But yeah, there's a bunch of furry servers, and then there's like more general ones. I think there's like mastodon.art. There's some people I think who have mentioned that the Mastodon servers aren't that great, or like they're not really well kept. I don't know if like mastodon.art is associated with like mastodon.social. I don't know. But yeah, my only recommendation is don't use the default one. Find a server and like go through the rules, see if that's like, oh, I vibe with this. So that is my recommendation. I would pull up the things, but I'm like, since some of it's like NSFW stuff, I'm like, I don't want to get my video like taken down or anything. There's also more than just Mastodon if you want to do Fetty, but Mastodon is the most well-known one. Yeah, because earlier I was like, technically Blue Sky is decentralized and things like that, but I don't really understand how that works. But yeah, always be cautious online. Yeah, exactly. It's true for all the internet stuff. And then, as I was saying, rules depend on the servers. you can make your own server. If you have the ability, you can just make your own server and like interact with the community. I don't know how to make my own server, but I found a server that I really liked. I liked their rules. I liked their but they already banned a couple servers that I did not really want to find on my feed, so that was very helpful for me. Blue sky and decentralization is a pain, but I will not go into that rabbit hole. Yeah, I figured it was like kind of a difficult thing to explain, because like I don't understand it at all. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, Mastodon is like the most well-known one, and I have found a lot of folks through it. I'm trying to remember, what's the one that kind of looks like Instagram? Called like Pixela or something like that? Something similar to that. But yeah, I stumbled upon a couple accounts that used it when I was on Mastodon, and it looks really cool. It like looks very clean and kind of like Instagram, but without all the ads and weird algorithm. So that one's another one that looked pretty cool in my opinion. All right, I need to take a breather. Running out of breath already. Streaming is what is it? Cardio exercise. Pixel fed. Okay, yeah. That one looked really cool. I don't know if anybody has had any like experience with it, but yeah, I saw that after I chose my server, and I was like, I mean, I'd probably choose that if I was still just doing like nature art maybe, but I was like, nah, I'm part of the furry community, so I'll stick with the current server that I'm part of. Alright, gotta hydrate. I think that's all I had to say about Mastodon. It's my favorite. I like it. Possibly only join if you're over 18. Make use of censoring either hashtags or something if there's stuff that you don't want to see. That's pretty much it. But yeah, having no ads, because like I feel like Blue Sky is eventually going to have ads, but the fact that Mastodon is not going to, definitely better. Oh yeah, I also wanted to add, I did make a Mastodon video way back when. Let me see if I can find it. It was a short. It didn't like go very well. I think a big thing to remember with the decentralized thing is that Fetty is different than Blue Sky. Oh, okay, right. The Fettyverse versus decentralized. Right. Yeah. That's a good point. But yeah, because a lot of people were like, I'm super intimidated on how to join Mastodon. I did make a short video. I'm not like an expert, but I was like, this is how it worked for me, so here we go. All of Fetty can talk to each other. Mastodon, Pixel Fed, Sharky, what a great name. But Blue Sky only talks to Blue Sky. Oh, I see. But yeah, I'm just gonna pop in the link. YouTube Shorts. I kind of regret making it into a short. I kind of wish I made a whole video on it, but maybe I'll like stitch it in when I edit this video and just be like, here, there it is. Because yeah, the shorts algorithm is completely different. I don't think a lot of my followers or like subscribers actually saw this short. Let's see. Oh, Kara, right, the new kid in town. Yeah, I saw so many like divisive takes on this, because a lot of people were like, it's doomed to fail, don't go there, stay on Instagram. And I was like, seems like you have an agenda to have people stay on Instagram because that's where you're most successful. But I feel like Kara is more like the Instagram crowd, because it is so similar to Instagram, and because I think it was made, I think the person who made it was fed up with Instagram, and they were like, with the AI stuff, and they were like, I'm done, I'm gonna make my own. And it's gonna be by artists for artists. So yeah. And then what else? So yeah, I think it's technically in beta mode still, but luckily you can make an account. It's not like invite only or anything. I don't see it becoming super successful for like getting private commissions. I can totally see it being good for networking, maybe. Like if you want to join a studio or something bigger, maybe that would be good. I also know that a lot of people casually use it to browse art. I like it to casually browse art. There's currently like no ads or anything. However, there's not a lot of people posting as much. Like there was a big boom and then like people slowed down. So I mostly go on there when there's like certain artists that I used to follow on Instagram. They're usually non-furry artists, and I was like, oh, I don't really see their art anymore. But a lot of them moved to Kara, and I was like, okay, sweet, I can look at their stuff without having to log into Instagram. So that was a win as far as that. But yeah, more professional. Yeah, because like it is pretty handy. They have like a portfolio view and then like a regular timeline view, and I think that's really cool. And then you can pick what you can put in your portfolio, and then your timeline can be like very casual. You can just like post sketches, you can just post posts and be like, oh, I made this video, here's a link to it. So that's what I liked about it. I actually have a screenshot on how it looks for mine. So this is like the portfolio version, and I'm like, I think it looks pretty slick. And if you go to all posts, it'll turn into like the more timeline kind of view. And yeah, so like, yeah, I could only find like 34 people to follow. It wasn't like, whoa, everyone's here all at once. So, you know, like that's the thing with smaller new social media. It's not 100% guaranteed that you're like gonna grow or that a lot of people are gonna be using it all at once. So yeah, that's a tricky thing with like mainstream stuff. But I like it. I like having it. I use it very casually. I usually just use it to look at other people's art. But yeah, I found some cool mutuals on there as well, so that was awesome. So yeah, it's just a smaller community. I think it's worth trying at least. Like, I don't think it's ever going to become like, oh, this is my main social media, this is where I get all my commissions and my shop sales and everything. But I think it's a good casual website, kind of like how some people browse Pinterest, I guess, except without all the ads. So yeah, okay, the algorithm is optional. Yeah, because they do have something that's like, you can do it like by popularity, I guess. So like that could technically be an algorithm, I'm not sure. You can do shares with reposts, quote unquote. New is still growing, yeah, I mentioned that. And then, yeah, good for finding artists, less for like private commissions and stuff like that. And the hashtags do work, so that's pretty handy. And something that I found out when you're browsing hashtags, it also picks up like the keywords that you put in your description. So like, let's pretend I put hashtag possum, but I said furry art in just regular text. It could also, I found that it still pops up in like hashtag furry. So I thought that was very interesting. But yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, one of the problems that Kara was dealing with is that there was like the cost of servers. So, yeah, so that kind of sucks. Anytime you want to try to make something new, you have to think about the cost of like servers and everything. But I believe in it, and a lot of people are being cool and contributing to the funds. So I really hope it succeeds. All right, what do I have next? I went to this, and then YouTube. Well, okay, wait, I'm gonna take a pause here. I'm already out of breath again. we can ruminate on YouTube for a bit. New social medias are always hard like that unless you figure out a big source of income. Yeah, I think they were very also surprised by how many people actually didn't want to be on Instagram, and they're like let me in. I do not think they anticipated as big of a rush of people, which is good. That definitely means that there's like a demand. But yeah, I cannot imagine opening my own social media. That sounds terrifying. but he manages to have everyone pay their own way, hosting smaller instances. Blue Sky has investor backing. Co-host tried to crowdfund and sadly ended up failing. Really? Okay, yeah, I know very little about co-host. I very briefly mentioned it because I was like, I want to acknowledge that it is there and some people have made it work for them. But yeah, no, I like made my account and they're like, you can't post until like 48 hours go by, and I was like, okay. And then I just completely forgot about it. Alright, YouTube. So, I think YouTube is a really good way to grow, personally, as an artist. However, it comes with like a different set of skills that you'll have to develop. If you already have those skills or are excited to learn them, then I think it's worth it. But if you're like an artist and you're like, hey, I don't want to film myself, I don't want to do all this, then I'm like, okay, I understand. Yeah, it is very much like you either like to do videos or you don't. And even me who likes to do videos, some days I'm like sitting editing and I'm like, when can this end? Because yeah, editing is pain and like take up to, usually on average it takes me 4 hours to edit even just like an 8-minute video. It's too long. But yeah, I have heard that if you have a new channel, that the algorithm is currently favoring new channels. Obviously, the algorithms constantly change, but yeah, no, I've definitely seen an uptick of new channels showing up on my recommended feed. So that's kind of cool, because yeah, before I feel like it used to just mostly push accounts that were already like doing really well, so it was just kind of hard to grow. But yeah, I'd want to have my own fursuit or VTuber model first, I think. Yeah. And also, yeah, if you want to start sooner, I definitely recommend looking at PNG tubers. That's how I kind of started. I mean, for a while I showed my face, but then I was like, what if I try to make this PNG tuber? And it's not a lot of like strain on like your PC, and if you know how to draw, it's pretty easy. So yeah, I definitely recommend PNG tuber stuff. I have a video for one form, but I know there's a different software that came out shortly after I made that video called PNG Tuber Plus, and it's more like bouncy, I guess. But yeah, no, the stuff that you can do with PNG tubers is pretty good. I can still check it out. Yeah, I definitely recommend it, because then you could speed up your content creation rather than having to wait. Because yeah, fursuits and VTuber models, very expensive. But you could also make your own VTuber model if you're like, I have the time. That making a VTuber model is pain though. I would say on the level of making VTuber models and video editing, doing Live 2D, which is the software, is a higher pain. And also it's like kind of tricky sometimes. The translation's actually really good now, but there's some words that it's like, why does it say it like that? I don't understand, because because it's translated from Japanese. But yeah, there it is. But yeah, oh yeah, and then you could share art. There's different ways you can share art. You can do, for a while I did a lot of my art sharing through video shorts, but then I was like, oh, I don't feel like live streaming would be, I don't know, a better use of my time. I'm in college right now, so yeah, little to no time working on my senior projects. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, because I was like, yeah, trying to make a VTuber from scratch, you have to like, it's either gonna take months or you have to like block out like an entire week and be like, all right, we are doing this. And that's kind of what I did, because I wanted to hurry up and do a VTuber debut. But yeah, it ate so much time and I felt a little bit not good at the end, because it was so much time sitting in front of a computer. But yeah. Oh yeah, it was like community posts, yeah, because like community posts kind of work like a timeline. I don't take advantage of community posts as much as I should, I think. The thing that kind of scares me about community posts is that a lot of times the stuff gets shared outside your subscribers, so sometimes like randos can find it, and I'm like, there's a lot of like random furry hate. I think because there's like a lot of kids on YouTube as well, so sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want that extra attention. Like, yeah, maybe you could help me find more of the audience that I do want, but sometimes there's folks that I don't want to show up. But I don't know, maybe I should just go for it. Also, like, I'm always scared of spamming people and be like, hey, look at my art, it's right here, it's right here. But I don't know, maybe I should just get over it and just try to share things a little bit more. But yeah, the community posts are actually pretty cool. In my opinion, they're kind of in a weird spot too. Like, I think on tablet mobile they don't really show up. You have to like actively look for them. So yeah, and then unfortunately on like the phone app, I think they just like, they take up a good chunk of screen space. So I have mixed feelings about them, but at the same time I'm like, it's cool that it's there. And I think most recently YouTube also announced that they're testing out a different kind of like community timeline, except it kind of looks more like a Discord server, and the way that your followers can or subscribers can add like their own posts and stuff like that. So that's kind of interesting. A lot of people were scared that people would abuse it, which is understandable, but I'm sure like you can moderate things and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm curious how that goes. YouTube luckily is adding more and more features to their thing, slowly but surely, because I know even just last year, I didn't even realize this, the like live stream moderation was actually worse last year, and I didn't realize they actually added more features for it to be better this year. So that's good that they're changing a couple things. And also, like, YouTube is such a big corporation that I don't think it's going anywhere. Like yeah, Meta is a huge corporation, but they like, I don't think they're making I don't know. I feel like YouTube just has been like one of the more older, long-standing social medias, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon. So if you invest time in YouTube, I don't think it's gonna be, I don't know, the worst use of your time. Watch me like regret saying that all of a sudden it's like it just crashes for some reason. But yeah, no, I think it's pretty good. And then also that's a good, I felt like I could connect to my community way more with videos and streams, because yeah, when I was just posting art on like Twitter and stuff, like yeah, I tried to like reply to all comments and things like that, but there was still like more of a disconnect back then. So yeah, I'm definitely like happier with how video and streaming is working. The only thing with it is the Google antitrust thing that's going on right now. But even if YouTube gets split off, I'm pretty sure it'll be self-sustaining. Oh, interesting. So I have not heard about that. I'll definitely look into it. But yeah, that's a good point about it. Even if it splits off, it will be self-sustaining. Because yeah, initially it wasn't even owned by Google, and it was doing really well. Well enough for Google to be like, hey, can we like buy you? So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Because, I mean, yeah, like Twitter is also like pretty old, but the fact that it just like crumbled and also wasn't making much money, because like how do you really make money with ad posts on like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sad that it's gone because it did work for me at the time, but it also forced me to try to branch out into new things. Ugh, my throat. Alright. Oh yeah, hashtags do work, but they're hard to navigate. Yeah, I tried to use hashtags when I was making shorts, and yeah, they kind of worked. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be like, oh, you're guaranteed to like go viral with hashtags, but yeah, it works in like video descriptions. For the longest time I was like, how do you get those hashtags to show up? Because like there's like a video and at the bottom it would like say hashtag, I don't know, furry or something. I'm like, how do you do that? And the thing is, you just write it in your description and it'll pop up there. But like, unfortunately, I don't love how navigating works on YouTube. Have y'all realized that like sometimes you're searching for something and you like have like 4 videos that I was like, okay, this is kind of like what I was looking for, and then you scroll down and then they give you completely unrelated videos and they're like, this is other stuff you watch, and I'm like, that's great, but that's not what I was looking for. So that was kind of irritating. I also heard that similarly Google search has been working like that as well. So yeah, that's one of my gripes, I guess. You kind of have to like depend on getting pushed like in the algorithm rather than being searchable. But some searchable content, it has been really good. Like for some reason my PNG tuber tutorial took off, and apparently a lot of people who are searching PNG tuber stuff are finding it, so I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Oh, great for building community. Yeah, I guess I briefly talked about that as well already. But yeah, no, I definitely feel like I have like more of a sense of like my audience rather than just posting on something like Twitter and like, yeah, that's it. So I definitely appreciate that. And I think this will segue into streaming, I guess? Let me see. Yeah, streaming, Twitch and YouTube. So I am technically very new to streaming. It's been a little bit over a year at this point. So I'm like, obviously a lot of this stuff, take it with a grain of salt from me. I'm a small creator. I'm not like, ooh, this is how I got 100,000 subscribers or 500,000 subscribers. Nah. This is just the small possum life, and just just letting y'all know how it has been as a smaller creator. But hey, yeah, so I said need content on other platforms. Less so for YouTube. Like if you're streaming on YouTube, I definitely recommend having at least some videos on your site rather than just the VODs. But I don't know, sometimes just having VODs also works. But I feel like when you're streaming so much, you're bound to have some content that you can make into a video that you could just upload to your channel. But the amount of Twitch streamers that I've seen who just go on to Twitch and stream, and then they're done streaming, the VOD gets stored for a couple days, or sometimes they don't even store the VOD, and then that just disappears forever and ever. I'm just like, that's I mean, I don't want to say like a waste of your time, but like I feel like you put all that effort into a stream and then you just like, it's gone forever and ever. And I clocked in, I clocked out, that's the end. I don't know. I feel like archiving stuff is definitely worth it. But I guess maybe some people just like the hey, I'm live, and if you didn't catch me, well, I don't know. This is very temporary. I guess there is a appeal with that. But for me personally, like, making videos and streaming is enough of my time that I'm like, nah, I have to like somehow make it work, other than like, yeah, my gaming streams. Those I do for fun. But yeah, no, I definitely recommend like at least do something. It doesn't even have to be like a full YouTube video. Like I've heard people be like, all right, turn your streams into TikToks, and then that's gonna get more people watching your stuff. Because like I've heard a lot of people blowing up on Twitch, because Twitch has terrible discoverability if you're small. So I've heard that some people would take their streams, turn them into clips on like TikTok. Their TikTok blows up, and then they have a lot of people going to Twitch and watching their stuff. As I said before, I really struggle with TikTok, so that's not a route I chose. I'm also okay with not blowing up, because blowing up sounds terrifying. I just like things to be a little bit more slow-paced. But if that is something that is interesting to you, I'd say go for it, and yeah, make clips and stuff. And save your work. Oh, ability to monetize with community funding and ad revenue. So like, as far as I know, a lot of social media does not give you ad revenue or monetization. I know Twitter has a weird monetization program, but I don't really trust it. I don't know what's really going on there. But at least with streaming, you can unlock community funding, and not even if you can't unlock it through like, you know, like getting Twitch affiliate or becoming a YouTube partner. I mean, even having like a little donation link, like obviously it's not going to be probably your main source of income, but folks can like send you tips and stuff like that. So that's something. And eventually you can grow to have ad monetization. I'm still not monetized on any site. Really hoping one of these months, but yeah, I don't love ads, but I also don't like asking y'all to like, pay for me either, because I want it to be more of like a passive income, because I don't know, just, yeah, I mean, the economy is bad and I just don't want to be like, give me money. So yeah, so I feel like ad revenue is yeah, I've heard like it doesn't pay like a lot, but I mean, having a passive income, if you already made videos and stuff like that and people watch them, yeah, I think it'd be worth it. And then, oh yeah, like I said, yeah, keep VODs online to grow. Yeah, and if you decide to go on Twitch, it's actually really easy to connect your YouTube account to Twitch, and they could like, after you're done streaming, you can apparently, I think, go into like video dashboard and just like send the VOD over to YouTube without having to like download and re-upload. So I think that's pretty cool. And like, even if you're like, man, nobody's watching my VODs or anything, I feel like it's good to archive something. Unless it's like, or I mean, it doesn't even have to be all your VODs. Like, you could be like the VODs that you're like, okay, this was a really good stream and I feel like this is a good, like, I don't know, demonstration on how my streams usually go, or like my community or what I have to offer. So yeah, I think or editing VODs. In that case, you would have to either record your video as you're streaming, which depending on how heavy of like either a game or something, sometimes that's harder to do. I mean, unless you have a really good computer. But then you can also, yeah, edit from VODs. Unfortunately, editing from VODs, like, the quality isn't very good, but sometimes it's better than nothing. And I think I'm nearing the end. Let me see. Archiving in general, or archival in general, should be important. A social media post shouldn't be the only place you have a copy of content. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm surprised how many people are like, hey, I spent hours on this. Here you go. And then, like, you never see it ever again. I am a big believer in artists also, like, re-sharing their stuff. Like, even if it's, like, I don't know, years old, if you're proud of it, like, reshare it. Like, maybe the people who look at your stuff, maybe they haven't seen your old stuff and maybe they want to, you know? Yeah. I feel like a lot of artists also sometimes, like, I don't know, struggle with being like, no, I don't want to like spam people and stuff like that. But it's like, you spent so much time on your craft. Why wouldn't you want to share it? I mean, like, even then, just like reposting something once in a while isn't like spamming. So I don't know. That's my take on it. I know some artists are like, no, I posted it once, never again. But yeah, I think archiving things is important. Even if it's just also like, definitely keep copies like on hard drives as well. All right. How to succeed. Right. All right. Gotta take a sip of water. So, on some of my streams, some people have come up and be like, how do I get like a bunch of followers? And I'm just like, well, why are you asking me? I'm not like over here like with a million followers. But like, there is no one size fits all, but I feel like there's some general advice that overlaps. So I know a lot of accounts are like, you need consistency, and I agree with that. I don't think you need consistency in the sense that you have to post something every single day. I think that could be a bit much, especially if it's like preventing you from growing in other ways, like growing your craft or something. or like you get burnt out, that would suck too. But like, yeah, don't like, when I think of consistency, I'm like, don't post like one piece of art or one video and then wait like 5-6 months and then be like, all right, I did another thing, because the internet doesn't have a very long memory. So like, if you disappear for a bit, you kind of disappear from people's memory, or someone's like, oh hey, that person, yeah, they kind of disappeared, I wonder what they're up to. They look up, nothing has been posted in months, and they're like, I wonder if they're ever gonna post ever again. You see? Like, yeah, so I think consistency, just like remind people you're alive. you do whatever you do, whether it be art, video, music. So yeah, I do believe in consistency. I mean, I'm not like, I consider myself like a slow content creator. I only make like one YouTube video a month. I don't stream as much as like typical streamers do, who do like 40 hours a month. Nah. Like maximum 10 hours for me, and that's a huge difference. So, I mean, yeah, just even if your consistency is like once a month or like once a week, that's still consistency. But yeah, don't like post and then disappear for months, and I think that's like you do you, but I'm saying that's not, I don't think that's the formula for growing. Having a brand or a niche. Yeah, I think this is important. It is tricky because like sometimes you're like, oh, I don't want to like pigeonhole myself into this one thing either. Like for example with streaming, like there's some people who like just play one game and that's the only game they're known for. Like I would get bored so fast. But it works for people, but I know that is not feasible for me. I would like start hating the game and hating my time playing it. So I tried to see like, okay, what else can I expand on this thing? For the most part, as far as gaming, even though that's not like my main thing, it's more of a hobby, is like indie games for the most part, cozy games. So I'm like, okay, that's the kind of niche that I'm into. Or like, yeah, short games that I can get done. Oh, hello, welcome. Bucky? I'm sorry if I said that wrong. So yeah, having a brand, yeah, and like for example, like my niche is like digital art, and then it gets narrowed down to more like I guess like cozier art vibes, chill vibes, and yeah, an opossum. Yeah, and interestingly enough, yeah, like I kind of made possum kind of my brand, as well as shark imagery. I definitely need to do more imagery. I definitely do more possum than shark imagery. But yeah, so that's technically my niche. Before I really tried to do everything. I was like, I really like watercolor, I really like anime art, I really like furry art too, and so like I tried to combine all those things, and this was like when I had my Instagram account, and I feel like that prevented me from growing because too much is actually kind of like overwhelming as a viewer, because sometimes maybe you're like, I'm only here for the furry art, but then you start posting all this other stuff and then people are like, I don't know if I really want to stay around. So yeah, like there's I think it's good to narrow things down a bit. Maybe not too much, because like I said, you don't really want to pigeonhole yourself into things and then be like, I hate this, I want to try something new. But yeah, I feel like consistency with a brand is more consumable as an audience. Having a face to your name. Yeah. So like humans just, I don't know, they really are, I don't know, they like having faces to names or something like that. I mean, like technically, yeah, my real face is not my brand, so it's the possum. And I feel like, yeah, it's more recognizable, like, okay, so like I posted something, it's the possum who posted this. I know there are some faceless creators that are actually successful, but I think sometimes in those cases, like, they're either like, something really stands out about them. Like, let's say, like, I don't know, they're just such a pro gamer. And I think like they could get away with not necessarily having a face, because then they're just like more known for like their pure skill maybe. But I feel like, yeah, adding a bit of like an avatar or something recognizable adds to a brand and also adds for like being recognized. Work on your craft. Yeah, like I feel like a lot of people sometimes they get too caught up in like the numbers and they kind of forget to get, I don't know, better at like the craft they're actually trying to share. But so I think, yeah, it's important to work on your craft, because like, yeah, if you're not gonna get like better at it, oh, I mean, like, what's the point, you know? I mean, maybe I said that wrong, but yeah, I think it's important, because like sometimes some people are like, why am I not growing? And they're just like so obsessed with like making content for growing, and it's like, well, maybe take a step back, you know? Remember why you want to do this, and maybe experiment, maybe like try other new things, like go and like work on like fundamentals and stuff like that. And I think that's important, personally. I'm more anti-gamer myself. Wait, like I don't know. Do you have any tips on not having enough energy sometimes? Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, so I am a very low energy person. It's like balance, and like I'm not the best at having like a proper schedule or something like that. I try to just like listen to my body a little bit more. Before I would I go back and forth between having like a workaholic mindset, which is not good, and then also just burning out from that workaholic mindset. So I guess something I've just been trying to focus more on is just being like, all right, so I have this project thing right now. I could burn through it right now and be done with it, or I could try to like, I don't know, space things out a little bit more. Like how important is it? And I think setting deadlines is also really helpful. Like, even though the deadlines can be a little bit intimidating, but I feel like it helps you focus and be like, I don't know, try to cut out the extra noise, because sometimes for me it's easy to get distracted by other things that do eat up my energy, and then I don't have energy for the thing that I'm actually supposed to get done, or that would be more beneficial to get done sooner. So I guess just like finding out your priorities. I've made a to-do list that I adjust a lot, and it's like I'm like, okay, let's just say like a video. I'm like, I have to get a video done at the end of this week. What can I cut out so I have more time to make this video? So things like that. I don't know if that made much sense. But yeah, definitely just like listen to your body. Also like, I know this is like really obvious maybe, but like talk to your doctor too. In some cases, like I know healthcare, at least in the US, is awful, but in some cases like that fatigue can come from like vitamin deficiencies or things like that. So like if you are able to, like this, I know this sounds a little bit extreme, but if you're able to get like a blood test or something, like sometimes you could be like, oh, I'm actually like really low on vitamin D, and then you just take the supplements and you're like, wow, I feel so much better now. So yeah, that's one thing that I would recommend. For people who would be consuming the content you're making, not working and exploring can get boring if it's the same sort of content all the time. Yeah, that is a good point. I've definitely come across that in my own journey as like just a content consumer. That yeah, if people don't shift, or actually in some cases, sometimes they kind of like, I know this is rude to say, but like regress a little bit. I'm like, huh, they're not really challenging themselves. They got a little bit too comfy, and I don't know, I just don't vibe with their stuff anymore. It happens, and I feel like that's not something that like I'm alone with. But yeah, that's a good point. You sound like me for real. Thanks for the response. Being autistic makes it keep hard with everything. I am low on vitamin D too. Yeah, no, I really struggle with things. Like I don't even know. Yeah, like I said, I just consider myself very low energy, and I used to be very harsh to myself about that. I'm like, wow, why can't you just be like everyone else? And then it's just like acceptance. And then, yeah, just figure out what works for you. Because I feel like a lot of, like, especially Western society really focuses on a high-paced environment, really focuses on extroverts. Like, wow, it's, like, built for extroverts. But, yeah, just being kind to yourself. Vitamin D definitely impacts things a lot. Big agree on getting it checked out. Yeah, vitamin D, being low on magnesium, being low in iron, anemia, like, sucks. As well as, like, thyroid issues. I know thyroid problems also can impact with depression. Actually, a lot of these vitamin deficiencies can impact with depression. I mean, can affect depression as well. And like, it's not like once you start taking supplements or whatever, like all of a sudden you're cured, but it makes things easier. So if you have the ability to make things easier, I mean, like, yeah, why not take it? Welcome, Amtrak fan. Oh, the Amtrak. Be open to critique. Yeah. So that kind of goes with working on your craft. Because, and this kind of goes with, like, my bottom one that says don't get lost in the sauce. Like, it's so easy to get tunnel vision, and I feel like artists are quite isolated usually, and, like, personality as well tend to like to be isolated. So I think it's good to either find, like, either friends, a community, like even like just a Discord community sometimes. Sometimes they have like art critique stuff, and you could be like, hey, I'm not sure about this. Does anybody have any input? And then sometimes people could tell you things that you yourself probably wouldn't have caught on. Sorry, I had to burp. So yeah, I think, yeah, being open to critique, because, yeah, the tunnel vision, sometimes you're like, I don't know, just going one direction, and it's actually not a direction that's beneficial for you, but for some reason you're just like, kind of like, I don't know, locked in on it. But yeah. Ostriches, interesting. But yeah, being open to critique, and then, yeah, as I said, don't get lost in the sauce. How do you think your success will end? I mean, success, interesting. Like, let me see. Like, I know, like, for some people's goals, it's like, all right, I want to get to, like, I don't know, 1 million subscribers or something like that. I don't know. I guess just be realistic with expectations, and at the end of the day, like, try to remind yourself why you're into it. For me, like, technically, I could probably make more money. Actually, no, I can totally make more money if I go and get a quote-unquote regular job, but I'm like, But at the end of the day, like, yeah, I really do like making art and sharing. So I guess what I would consider success is, like, yeah, just community. That's honestly the main thing. And, like, I know things, like, shift over time. Yeah, that's one thing I forgot is, yeah, as we saw with Twitter, like, things do not stay linear. Things can change in ways you cannot expect. So yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind. Be open to new opportunities, be open to try new things, because, yeah, the whole, like, oh, don't put all your eggs in one basket, like, I feel like that's really true, because you never know what can happen. So yeah, success, yeah, that's an interesting way of measuring things. But yeah. I was like a little bit stumped there. So you want an army of followers till you day you bite the big one? An army? No, not necessarily. Yeah, because like honestly, it's possible that something can happen that I'm like, oh, I won't be able to draw anymore or something like that. I mean, that's a reality I had to face with getting more and more like arm injuries and stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely like, yeah, you just can't expect that you can't count on things happening. Hold on a second. But yeah. So yeah, things are unpredictable. Keep that in mind. And yeah, in the end of the day, yeah, followers aren't. Yeah, followers are such a funny thing because a lot of people do measure their success with followers. But yeah, I would argue that, like, if you're able to have your thing be sustainable, I feel like that's a win there. Because like, I remember seeing in a marketing book, they're like, don't try to please more people. Find like, actually no, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was something along the lines of like, let's say you have like just 3 people who like are essentially like your patrons to the art and they are able to sustain you. Well, I mean, that's way better than having like, I don't know, 10,000 followers and like they barely sustain you. You know, it's just like, it's all about results, I guess, rather than numbers, if that makes any sense. But yeah. And yeah, lastly, don't get lost in the sauce. I have been guilty of this. So like when I was on Twitter, I like spent a lot of time. I was like, all right, I gotta post this this often. I have to like make this kind of art to please the algorithm and please the people. And I just got completely lost in it. And I was also constantly checking stats. Like, I feel like that's a big time waster. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel like checking stats can see if you're like on the right trajectory, I guess. But like, you don't have to check your stats every day. You can check it like once a month, be like, is this month better than last month? Is it like a slump? Well, I mean, and also like not taking slumps too personally, because it's not success and like getting good at art and stuff. It's not like a constant like upward graph. Like a lot of people think it's like, no, the more time I spend, the more time it's going up, but that tends to not be the case. There's a lot of ups, there's a lot of downs. Sometimes just be like, all right, this is an up right now, that's great. There might be a down around the corner. I should prepare for that. And I should be mindful about all these things. Trying to cater to everyone in a way like like that they would be incredibly exhausting. Yeah, you can't please everyone. Yeah, that's kind of what I meant by like having a brand, is that like, yeah, find your people and be like, yeah, this is what folks like, and I don't know, just be chill. It's all about balance, yeah, because like I listen to some of the stuff I'm saying, I'm like, yeah, but like definitely leave room for like some change. And I mean, obviously, like, I feel like a lot of artists kind of forget this, but like, you don't have to share everything you make. You can make like a lot of like not good art, or not quote-unquote good art, and you can just keep it for yourself, and you can use it as a way to grow. Or sometimes you're like, I feel like drawing something that's not really in my niche. Totally fine. I mean, like, yeah, keep a sketchbook that you don't share. Because I feel like some people are like, no, I have to like post every single thing I make, otherwise I won't be consistent. And I'm like, no, just, you definitely need the time to like experiment on your own as well. And I mean, you can also experiment and post the things as well, like, but I think as far as like branding and everything, just I think sometimes just it's better to keep some things to yourself. But that's pretty much it. But yeah, don't get lost in the sauce. I speak from personal experience on that, and I felt like I actually got too lost in the sauce, and I actually just completely lost sight of what's important, and I was like constantly glued on my phone. And I remember like even getting being in a conversation with my partner, sometimes I would just like look at my phone and I'm like, yeah, this isn't great. This is affecting my real social life. This is not good. So yeah, in the end, even if you do make this like your full-time job, it's still important to like detach from it. Take time off, things like that. I think that might be the last slide. Oh, okay, yeah, I just wanted to reiterate some of this stuff. Coffee or tea? Coffee for me, but yeah, no, tea is also good. Speaking of, gonna hydrate real quick. Alright, so yeah, briefly talked about mainstream stuff. That is in my old video, so I didn't touch on that too much. Alternatives. Tumblr, Blue Sky, Terra. Oh, Discord. I forgot to talk about Discord. I'll get to that in a bit. Can't lose a social life if you don't even have one. Yeah, but I mean, like, you also don't want to cut yourself completely off. Like, don't get me wrong, there's been moments where I'm like, I really need friends. Morbid as that is. But I think it's good to still... It's good for your craft, too. To still throw yourself into social situations. And, like, don't get me wrong, obviously, like, don't overdo it. And, like, if it, like, drains you immensely. But I think it's important to have, I don't know, touch grass experiences. And I guess, like, sometimes it doesn't necessarily need to be social. Like, even if you, like, you're able to go out on, like, a hike. Just, yeah, it's good for artists to get out of their cave every once in a while, because I know a lot of us like to be like, oh, this is, I live inside. And that's how we don't get vitamin D. So, yeah, I think, yeah, taking care of yourself is always a priority, and we are social creatures. But yeah, even things like socializing online, like, it isn't a replacement, but it's better than nothing, in my opinion. But yeah, but still also trying to like check out events in your town. I know it's tricky with COVID, but like if there's I don't know, like a little art meetup or something. I did see an art meetup for introverts in my town, and I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. And yeah, just things like that. Especially if you're in school, there's a lot of social activities that you can participate. That's one thing I did not take advantage of when I was in school, and I do regret it. I wish I was more involved. In some cases, don't get me wrong, I got involved and I'm like, I regret everything. There was an instance when I joined a club and everyone was like yelling at each other, and I was like, this is a really weird vibe. I don't want to be here. But hey, at least I tried it. Yeah. Oh, social life is hard. No, I understand. I've never considered myself like a big socialite or someone who had like a bunch of friends or anything. Fair point, I'll have to try that. Yeah. Yeah, there was a furry club at my university, and at first I was like, ugh, furries. But I was like, I kind of regret not checking it out. There could have been some cool people there. Who knows? Alright, Discord, right. I didn't really talk much about that. Yeah, personally, I just use it to foster my current community, but I have heard that some people have been successful in joining Discords. I think one person in one of my comments recommended the R Furry Discord for the subreddit. They said that it worked for them, and I'm sure they have like a channel where you can post your art, maybe get some eyes on it. Posting on Reddit helped for a bit, but then there was like a weird Reddit issue, so I stopped posting on Reddit. But yeah, no, Discord groups I feel like can work. They were just very exhausting for me personally to constantly... I felt like a lot of Discord groups, they had like a group that was already very active, and it was like kind of hard to like break into it. Like I don't like... I don't think they were intentional on being clicky, but like it did feel like a very tight-knit group, and like you couldn't get in there unless you like constantly like were active, and I'm like, I don't have time to constantly be on Discord, so that's why I just kind of gave up on that. Telegram is one, has a lot of drama going on right now. Yeah, I forgot about Telegram. Yeah, it is kind of similar, like, because like you gotta find your groups in the way that you have to do it with Discord, but it's also kind of hard to search through things, like, because you don't have channels. But yeah, the drama. Yeah, so and isn't like I forget who Telegram is owned by, but yeah, no, it's oh, I also didn't like on Telegram that it like automatically told you when you were last online. I thought that was like a little bit invasive as far as privacy. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I didn't really vibe on Telegram. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, Discord was the only one I didn't talk about. Additional notes. Yeah, there's no one size fits all with social media. Find what works and put in the time. Yeah. Know when you need to quit. Yeah, like it's kind of similar to don't get lost in the sauce. But what did I say? Check in? Check in. Maybe I had a thought and I didn't finish it. My additional notes. Check in. Telegram and phone numbers never sat nice with me, and requiring phone numbers. Yeah, privacy issues, things like that. Yeah, it's a little bit... I mean, technically, I think if you're inactive on Telegram after a certain amount of time, your account gets deleted, but yeah, at that point, it already had collected your phone number. Yeah. Yeah, I tried to make a Telegram group back in the day, but I just kept forgetting to check it, and it's just hard to be active personally. I found Discord was a lot chiller, and the fact that you had different channels just made it easier for me, organization-wise. Alright. Oh yeah, I think by know when you need to quit, like, have y'all heard the phrase kill your darlings? I feel like that gets applied, that could be applied a lot with art, because sometimes you might be doing this thing that like either you don't like it, you feel like obligated to do it, or you do like it but it doesn't match everything else you're doing, and sometimes you just have to like make the choice and be like, do I continue this or not? And I feel like, yeah, as far as for me, some of the darlings I killed was my Instagram account. I finally had to just like let go of it, because even it just being there, I was just like, well, maybe I can make it work out, and I was like, no, it's wasting my time. I need to get out. And then also anime art. Like I still have a very soft spot for anime art, but I noticed that it was hard to grow in, because a lot of the anime fandom seems to prioritize fan art over original art. And don't get me wrong, there have been quite a few people who have successfully gotten big with original art, but I feel like those are kind of outliers, and like, don't get me wrong, could be you, worth a shot, but for me, after a while, I was like, yeah, this isn't working so well. One of my biggest eye-opening moments was selling at a convention. I had a lot of original art and like one thing of fan art. Everyone bought the fan art. It like sold out so quickly, and I was like, huh. Either I go down the fan art route, or I try to find something else that works for me. I feel like furries appreciate original art way more. No shade towards the anime community, but I think like it makes sense. It makes sense because the fandom does revolve around like personas rather than like intellectual property. 6 months, most art degree students stop making art, my professor told me. What? Oh, that's wild. Only 6 months. That kind of reminds me of like the stat that like a lot of people, like a decent percentage of people who start YouTube accounts quit after a couple months as well. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's better. I also heard that like, yeah, as far as the art, majoring in art, a lot of people get just so burnt out during school that once they're out, they're like, ugh, I'm done. I'm so done. And that makes sense, yeah, because yeah, focusing way too hard and pouring all your energy, yeah, that makes it really hard. On a smaller scale, yeah, something I noticed like back in the day when I did Inktober, which was drawing an ink drawing every day for October, for the whole month of November, I was just like, I forced all my ideas in October that I was just, in November I couldn't make any art. I was just stuck, and that is burnout. And I feel like burnout has different scales. There's like the big burnout that it could be like years for you to pick the whatever you burnt out on ever again, or just like, I guess, the smaller burnout that like, yeah, takes weeks or months to recover from. And both, I mean, both suck. Yeah, it's better to just pace yourself in the beginning. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Oh my goodness, I have talked for almost 1 hour and 40 something minutes, but yeah, thank you so much for hanging out and asking questions and comments. I really appreciated that. It definitely kept the conversation going, and just things that like I didn't even consider as well. I guess I already put this in the pinned comment. It was your favorite place to post art. Yeah, if anybody has anything. Yeah, mine is Mastodon all the way. I guess Tumblr is number 2 and number 3 is Blue Sky. Many minutes have passed. Indeed, indeed. Welcome, lol Gabby. Betty is nice and cozy for posting. Yeah, I don't feel so pressured, because I feel like with mainstream media that has algorithms stuff, it just feels like it's really like in your face, and you're just like, oh, ads, people feeling like they have to post every single day. Oh, drama posts, right? The algorithm like pushing like rage bait and stuff like that. I'm like, this is not a good place for my social media. I currently like using Newgrounds. Oh yeah, Newgrounds. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I've never actually like browsed Newgrounds ever. I made an account like the other day, but yeah. But I know it has worked really well for some people. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, there's like so much variety on what you can post on Newgrounds, if I recall correctly. But yeah, Fediverse is my comfy area. Everyone's very chill, a lot of furries, good vibes. I hope I haven't run into too many artists. Like a lot of the like my mutuals that I have on different websites, a lot of them haven't made a Mastodon account, or if they did, they made it once and then like forgot about it. So I would say I feel like there's more people consuming art than posting art, and that's actually a pretty good environment to get discovered, if I do say so myself. Yeah, because when it's like when it's more artists than people like consuming art, then that's like really competitive and stuff like that, so that makes it hard. Oh, yep, that's the end. Well, yeah, any additional comments? And definitely take a break. My voice is raspy now. But yeah, I will be editing this into a video. I might put additional footage if like sometimes I just need to re-record something. But yeah, if y'all want to revisit this will be on YouTube in a couple of days. I feel like the diverse and queer fetty community could be a lot more accepting and appreciative of art, even if it's not the art they would typically consume. Oh, that's an interesting point. Yeah, like I did find that like, yeah, even some accounts that don't like scream furry at me were like, yeah, I like your art, I'll follow you. or even just sharing it. Yeah, no, it's just really cool. Yeah, the fact that you can, that it's not just furry exclusive, because I feel like you definitely like run into an issue of like a cap, you know, on just furry exclusive websites. You work for Fetty, don't you? You can't just work for Fetty. That's the funny thing. It's its own thing. Yeah. So that's the beauty of it. It's just created by by multiple people. And you can make your own stuff too. I do run my own instance, but yeah, it's not a company. Oh, that's cool that you have your own instance. Right, forget that we're called instances. Yeah, I've been calling them servers, but they're kind of the same, right? It's like how blogging, it's its own thing. Right, I totally forgot about blogging. Yeah, I didn't really ever follow blogs, but yeah, I forgot that was, yeah, some people like have made actually quite a bit of money. Like I've heard that like a lot of writers had blogs before and like did really well and then wrote books and those did really well. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, blogs, newsletters, I mean, those are still out there. I just have like no experience, so I can't. They exist. They're worth trying maybe, but I have no advice on them. Alright. Just like go just chatting real quick. Oops, that's not what I wanted to press. But yeah, no, for those who yeah, I have my new background now, so that's exciting. Oh, hey, you got Stream Elements to work. It did not work for me on YouTube. So, okay, good, it's back. I was worried for a second. VR chat, I've seen some art there. Wait, how do you post art on VR chat? That's so interesting. Yeah, it's so funny that you can technically also grow on like anything. You just have to know how to work it. Yeah, like things that aren't typically sites you share on, like I said with Toy House being like a character storage site. Some people do really well there. So yeah, VR chat, so interesting. 79%, 71. Hold on, I think I got 80 something on Twitch. Didn't work when I did the command earlier. 26. Okay, it's like over 100% if I combine them. Alright, well thank you so much for hanging out. I will be doing game streams, a game stream this week. I still don't know the date. That's the thing. I just keep it super casual. When I feel like it happens. But yeah, do that on Twitch. I've seen some people just use their own website and RSS feeds, but it's definitely a much more niche thing to do. Yeah, RSS feeds, I don't know how to work them. They sound cool, like that you can like see what's being posted as it goes, but yeah, I don't understand. I should probably look into RSS feeds. I've heard about them for years and I just haven't really gotten it. Thanks for the stream. Oh, thank you so much. But yeah, thank you y'all for being here and have a good rest of either Sunday or Monday. Stay awesome. Awesome. Terrible tagline. Bye.